What's going on, guys? Bob Roche from RocheTechnology.com here with an unorganized, unscripted video of me and my experiences with Android, why I decided to stick with iOS, and to pose a bigger question to you guys, and I expect tons of answers down in the comments on Twitter, etc., etc. And that question is, do individual devices matter as much as their entire ecosystems? So right off the bat, like you guys said, you heard it right. I switched to Android for about 2 weeks, actually, almost exactly 2 weeks. I was using this guy right over here. This is a Samsung Galaxy Nexus. I realized that is not the newest phone, and despite its battery life issues, I had a lot of people on Twitter saying that's still, a pretty darn good phone. And I did have a pretty good experience with it, like I said, other than the battery life, which by the way was atrocious. But I wanted to say that I like the Android experience. This phone is a good phone, like I said, despite battery issues, all that stuff aside. I just mean in terms of Android, I had a pretty good experience with this phone. The one thing I really like about Android, and this isn't really Android, it's the Android manufacturers, but this screen compared to this screen really does make a humongous difference. Back in the day, I didn't think that a screen needed to be any bigger than this. Then the iPhone 5 came out, and I was like, all right, I like having the bigger vertical screen. That's really nice. And really that's kind of how this was. I didn't really notice how nice it was until I actually used it, and then I didn't want to go back. It's kind of the same way with Retina displays. That that whole argument off to the side. But I didn't really notice how much a bigger screen would really improve my experience until I tried it. And the same is true with this. Going from this screen back to this screen is probably the only thing I regretted about going back to the iPhone with. But the thing I really want to talk about is like the services and everything that goes along with the iPhone. So I go ahead and I ditched the iPhone for 2 weeks and I switched to this guy right here. The first thing right off the bat that I missed, iMessage. I never knew how much iMessage was convenient, like how convenient it was for me until I didn't have it. And the same can be said back, because I run a Hackintosh if you're brand new to my channel, and there was a brief period of time where iMessage no longer worked. So until a fix came out for that, I had no iMessage on my computer, and I missed it dearly, because having my messages sync to every device I own really is a big deal for me. My girlfriend uses iMessage, a lot of my closest friends use iMessage. I mean, iMessage has really made its way into my life, and like I said, a lot of the people that I talk to on a daily basis use iMessage. So being able to talk to someone on here, go to class, have that message on my iPad, come home, and then have that same message, that whole conversation between many people on my computer, it's just a really nice feature, and it's too convenient for you to have and then live without. So, and there was this whole kind of syncing issue where at first when I switched, this would not get my text messages because it would still think I was associated with iMessage. It was a big mess, and eventually that got sorted out. But iMessage is one of the biggest things that I really missed about not having the iPhone. And with that said, I do realize that there are plenty of applications, namely Google Talk, that can do that. It syncs from devices to devices. I can have it on my computer, on my tablet, etc., etc. But the point is, it's not in the messaging app. And I think more, I don't think of myself in terms of how convenient it is, but for other people, I don't want other people to have to just open up a whole separate app just to talk to me. I feel like that's cumbersome for them. I want people that have an iPhone to just have that experience of just going to the the Messages app and then having their entire conversation right there. No other app necessary, anything like that. The other thing was iCloud syncing. Now, that's a pretty big deal for me. I'm always setting reminders with Siri. I'm always, like I said, reminders are a big deal for me. iMessage, anything that uses iCloud really is a big deal for me. And I realized that, once again, Google Drive exists on here. And in some ways, actually in a pretty decent amount of ways, Google Drive is superior to that of iCloud. I fully realized that. I never said iCloud's, the end-all, be-all, awesome solution, because it definitely has some problems that need to be sorted out. But regardless of that, I found this to be more convenient, and that's because multiple devices. My Mac uses it, or my Hackintosh uses it, my iPad uses it, my phone uses it. Having all that syncing without me even thinking about it really is very convenient, and you don't want to go back from it once you don't have it. And so all these different little things, basically what they come back to is that question I posed in the beginning. Do individual devices mean as much as they used to compared nowadays to their entire ecosystems? And so, like I said, I had this for about 2 weeks, and then I came back to this guy, and boy was I happy. Even though the screen is a lot smaller, it's laughably small now compared to some of the other ones out there, and especially this guy. This is a Sprint phone. I'm currently on Verizon. I haven't been able to use this, as my daily driver, but I am selling this right now. I just bought it for actually a pretty good price just to mess around with it. I'm actually selling it, but I did play around with it, and the screen is gorgeous on this thing. The Galaxy S3 definitely packs a gorgeous screen, and just having I'll go ahead and I'll activate it here. Having going into the little notification slider, and having all those options up at the top, that customization of Android, I really do like. That's something that I really wish iOS would bring to the table, is more customization. And with that said, this is jailbroken. I ran the Evasion jailbreak. This is on, I think, 6.1.2 right now. Fully jailbroken. Definitely some bugs, some app crashing, things like that. Not overly satisfied, because in my opinion, iOS is really known for its stability and how things just work. I kind of miss that, even though the jailbreak does bring some nice features. But with that said, I do wish iOS could open up customization a little bit more, but not have it compromise battery life and things like that. With that said, the Galaxy S3 has awesome battery life. I had no problems there. I've actually played with the Galaxy S3 quite a bit, and I really do like it. I think that if a phone, I'll hold it up here, like the Galaxy S3 came out that ran iOS, the screen size, the thinness, as you can see, it actually is thinner than the 4S there, which is really nice. I mean, this is a nice form factor, even though it, that plasticky kind of feel. Overall, really good build quality. I could definitely see myself using a phone like this, but I wanted to run iOS because, like I said, the services that's included with the Apple ecosystem really are important to me, and they've really kind of merged, I guess you could say, merged their way into my life, my workflow, everything like that. And so, like I said, I don't want you Android guys to say, oh, you didn't try it long enough, or my reasons are stupid, or I didn't try it at all, iOS sucks. Before you go there, just, try to picture yourself in my shoes. I just didn't like, the whole ecosystem, and that's not really a fault of Google. It's the fact that I'm I guess that far involved in the Apple ecosystem already, and having to switch, say for example, I want to set up a Google Drive. I have to port all my files over to Google Drive, and then I have to set up everybody with Google Talk, etc. I just don't think that's worth it. I think my heart is with this guy. So what do you guys think? Do individual devices mean as much as they used to? Or nowadays with all the cloud syncing and everything, is it really more important, the entire ecosystem? Be sure to let me know what you guys think. Am I way off base, or are my reasons stupid? Be sure to let me know in the comments. Please, hate free. I'm at CBKid on Twitter. Also be sure to check out RocheTechnology.com. I hope to see you guys back here soon.